Hi guys, it's Katie and welcome to my brand new series, Buy, DIY, or Don't Even Try. This series is all about things that are found on the internet and I'm going to try and make them for you. I'm going to discuss the process of how I make them and whether or not they're cost effective to make versus just buying. For episode 1, we are doing a cat study, which is a beautiful printed apron and oven mitt and a couple other things that I saw while I was walking around Anthropologie. These retail for about $28 for the apron and $12 for the pot holder and for the mittens. And I was really drawn to them because they were beautifully made. They had cats on them, which of course I love cats. And I have an aunt who has 2 cats and she loves cats pretty much as I do. So I thought this would be a perfect gift for her. And like I said, I always make handmade gifts, so I wanted to try and make it. So here's my tutorial on how I made my own cat study apron, inspired by Anthropologie. I pulled out the tracing paper from the Speedball kit and then pulled up a design that I liked off the internet. In this case, I'm actually using the design from Anthropologie, and going to a dark room, I put it up against the computer screen so that I could outline it, and with a pencil just went around and outlined it. I'm pretty obsessed with potato stamping, so I thought this would be a great time to try potato stamping, because if it really does work for something this intricate, then I could use potato stamps, which are I could use potatoes, which are much cheaper than the stamp material on these, and then I could make tons and tons of designs. The only downside to this is that obviously potatoes go bad, so I'm not sure why I thought this would be a great idea. Potatoes are really wet, so you have to keep patting it down with a paper towel over and over again. With the potato, I kept lining up the tracing paper with it to see if I got the details right. The downside is that you also cannot use a Sharpie on potato because nothing will write on it, and I started getting really tired of this, so when I went to stamp it out, it looked awful. It looked like a scary demonic cat versus a cute cat outline. So I had to go back to square one and use the actual pink material that it comes with. I outlined it first in pencil, and then I re-outlined it using a thick outline with a Sharpie. I outlined it really thick to start with because this is a outline versus a solid shape, and I wanted to make sure that the shape I wanted to make sure I could cut away, because you can always cut away, but you can't bring back what you've cut out. So I did a lot of cutting and a lot of digging, and I tested it as I went through, and the first time I did it, the outline was still too thick, so I went back and shaved away some of the thinner stuff. With the paint, I used normal acrylic paint that you can buy at Michael's or AC Moore or wherever. And I don't have a roller for this, so I just squirted it out and then kind of smoothed it down with a paintbrush and then went to stamping. Yay, stamping process. This stamping process is also really interesting because it does get easier as you go. You kind of get a groove. At first I had to push the paint in every single time, but then I kind of figured out a way to make it a lot faster as I went. I had fabric that looked really similar to the Anthropologie inspiration, so I decided to use it to make binding tape. And basically what I did was I cut out a long strip of material using my rotary cutter that is 2 inches long, And then to make the bias tape, you basically fold it in half, or you fold it inward and then fold it in half, if that makes sense. You iron it really well. Ironing really helps it so that it's much easier to sew. And ta-da, you've made your own binding tape. And basically you just sandwich the material inside of the binding tape and then sew along the edges. And here are my cats up close with their binding tape. I wanted to make this apron adjustable, so using some more of the blue material, I cut a 4-inch strip and folded it in half to make one giant ribbon for the top and sides. And using a safety pin, I turned it inside out. And if you've never done this method, it is quite a question mark. So how did it go? For this project, I would definitely recommend DIYing it or just trying it in general. Even if you don't have any experience with speedball carving, it was pretty easy just to trace the outline and kind of carve around it. It had a little bit of trial and error, but overall I would say it was really easy to do. In terms of cost effectiveness, it definitely saved me money because the speedball kit was about $11 and the actual apron was $28. So it does save money, but it also depends on where you buy your material. I found the white material and blue material at a thrift store for, I think the white material was $2 and the blue material was $2, so $4. So even 11 plus 4 is still 15, so it still saves money. And so now I have this cool little stamp, which means I can keep using the stamp over and over again. I have heard that stamps do degrade over time, so it won't be as clear of an image, but it really wasn't that clear to begin with. And I was using these for fun. I can use my stamp to make all sorts of things. Like I also made this ridiculous clutch bag, and I made it humongous. I don't really know why. And it's blue on the inside, so it matches the apron, and I can literally fit an entire notebook in this. And I can also make the mitten, I can make the oven mitts, and I can make the pot holders. I loved making this, and it was really fun, and it was also really easy and pretty fast. I actually made this on Christmas Day. It took me 2 or 3 hours to make, and a lot of that was just waiting for the material to dry. And my aunt really enjoyed it. She really loves handmade gifts. If there's something you guys want to try and see me make, you can send it to me via Instagram or Twitter, new to 2017. If you'd like to support me, I have also started a Patreon campaign. If you like my videos and you want to see me try and make things, you can help support me. If you don't know a lot about it, I watched a really great video, which I will link here or down there, that really explained all the different ways that it works and how it helps creators, because I really didn't know how it worked, and I really would not want to recommend you guys helping me if you don't fully understand the process either. So I will definitely link that and you can watch it. I also have an Etsy store that I've been running for about 4 years. It is all handmade artwork that I have made, and I sign every single piece of it. So if you want to support me in that way, you can buy my artwork there, which I will also link down below. And this video is not to pressure you in any way, shape, or form. If you don't want to do either of these options, that is totally okay. I appreciate you guys just being there, and I love your comments. I love when you guys tell me that you liked videos or what you liked about them or even what you want to see next. that is totally fine by me. You know, a like on this video definitely goes a long way. And if you guys decide to make this tutorial, I would love to see your pictures, which you can also, again, you can tweet me or send it to me on Instagram. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!